Hey guys, today I am going to be doing another story time while I kind of do my Wizard101 daily routine like gardening and questing. Today's story time is going to be how I got into video games. As I start doing more and more videos on YouTube, I'm sure people are gonna start to wonder, how did you get into video games? Because I've been told this, so I guess it's not really like full of myself if I say this, but I don't look like the kind of person that would play games, right? Or maybe I do to you, I don't know. I've been told that me playing games was a total shock to some people. Anyway, I'm gonna get into that story, but I know that the story time type of industry, oh nice, my plants, okay. I know that the storytime industry is kind of oversaturated a little bit and stories are kind of exaggerated. I'm not gonna sit here editing a full video because I'm not making any money from this video, so why would I put myself out here telling lies, you know? Okay, that's all I'm gonna say about that. So anyway, this thing is not working. That's great. Quest Finder, I love you. So good. Anyway, so I'm going to start off telling the story of how I got into video games. First, we have to start off with when I was in the womb. I have a that sounded really weird. We have to start off with me explaining my family. My brother is 10 years older than me, so he's about 26 or 25. Not 20. I'm not 15, I'm 16, but his birthday is late in the year, so that's why I'm not sure if he's 26 or 25. So as we're recording this video, I am 16. I'm sure in like a couple years I'll tell a different age, and then people will be like, "Oh my God, you said you were 16." I am 16 as of recording this date of this recording day. Okay. But moving on. I have an older brother, and he's about 26, and so as a child, like I would say kindergarten, I had seen him play The Sims, and The Sims is that is the, like, if I've ever played one game a lot in my life, it is The Sims. That game I could play for hours and hours on end. I've played every Sims game, even like Sims Castaway, even like the obscure ones that no one's ever heard of, like Castaways, the ones on the DS. I have every Sims game that is possible. Not My Sims, because My Sims is not the real Sims, and I don't appreciate EA making a ripoff Sims game for little children. And I used to watch him play The Sims on his computer, and I was like a kindergartner, so I'm not gonna have a computer. I'm not gonna have the money to buy a computer. That'll come later. I'll tell a story about my first computer in this same video. So as a kindergartner, I got hand-me-downs from my brother. So it started off with the DS, or not DS, it was the Game Boy. He gave me his first Game Boy. It was blue. It was like so tiny. It was a Game Boy Color, actually. So he also had a Game Boy that was like the black and white one, which I never used. It was like clear, and you could literally see like the chip in it. It was like this big. So I started off with playing on the Game Boy. Since I was playing on the Game Boy, there wasn't that many options, but I did find one game that I found extremely interesting, and it was a Disney princesses game. So this was my first taste of actually ever playing my own video game. It was a Disney princess game on the Game Boy Color. I was always on that thing. We went out to dinner. I'd play the Game Boy in the car. We were waiting for dinner out somewhere. I'd play the Game Boy as we were sitting at the dinner table. I would go downstairs to eat dinner. I'd come back upstairs. I would play the Game Boy. So the Game Boy was like it was like the transcendence of me enjoying playing video games. As I grew a little bit older, I would say about second or third grade, I had been given a PlayStation 2 by my brother. It was another hand-me-down, and he had his Xbox, so he didn't use his PlayStation anymore. So he said, "Here, Maddie, you can have my old PlayStation, but you need to give it back to me when I move out." And unfortunately, he was going to college. I think he was going to college that year, so I couldn't keep it for very long. I ended up coaxing him into letting me keep it. So on this, he already had a lot of games. He had this game called Mercenaries, which I played all the time. It was the most violent game ever. Like you could throw a grenade at someone and they would, like, their guts would be everywhere. Just look it up. It was Mercenaries on the PlayStation 2, I think. And so that was it's like a Grand Theft Auto kind of game. You can steal buses, and like you're a mercenary for different nations. If you don't know what a mercenary is, it's basically a country that hires a soldier to fight for them. So like whatever country you are hired to is the country that you are playing for. And so you just go around to different countries and you're the mercenary. And so you have like a relationship with the countries. So if you do something bad, like shoot one of their civilians, then that makes your reputation with that country go down. And it was just like such a cool game. It was a lot like Skyrim, where if you piss off like a village, then the whole village comes for you. Moving on, I played that, but the game that especially did it for me was The Sims. It was just this normal Sims. I have it now for the GameCube, and I haven't played it since because I have my own computer, so I just play like The Sims 4, The Sims 3. Back then, like, this was the only game I had. And another game that I had, I don't remember what it was called, but it was like a bunch of kids, and you make your own character, and there was neighborhood mini games. So like you lived in this neighborhood with all these kids in it, and you could go to each of their houses and play their mini games that they had there. And some mini games were harder than the others. I never ended up finishing that game, but it was like my first taste. That game was like kind of a free roam game, and then The Sims is like a simulation game. So this kind of simulation and free roam thing has always been my cup of tea, so that kind of gives you reason why I like Wizard so much, is because it's a free roam and it's not so much a simulation, but you feel like you are in control of this character and you choose their destiny. I guess that's why I love those two elements of Wizard so much. And so these 3 games, Mercenaries, The Sims, and this mini game neighborhood game that I just described to you guys, they were the games that I played a lot during my childhood. During the summer, I would stay up till like 12, and mind you, I was in 2nd or 3rd grade, and this continued into the school year. And I just played like whenever I wanted to, play some video games. And it was very rare if I was in the house, I would not be on the PlayStation 2, because it was just like, it was the ultimate stress relief to me. So moving on a little bit, my brother's in college, and I finally convinced him to let me keep the PlayStation. I got The Sims 2 for the PlayStation for Christmas one year. I played that a lot. I made so many aliens. I made my sim date like all the guys that were in the game. I just loved this aspect of being able to control someone else's destiny and how their lives turn out. Of course I'd give them like a family, and they could have jobs and that type of stuff. So I've always loved that. I'm gonna fast forward to 5th grade a little bit, and this was the first year that I actually received a lot of money from my family. Because I received so much money from my family, I wanted to buy something that I have always wanted for a while. My brother had just came back from college. He didn't actually end up finishing his college. He didn't drop out, but my mom took him out because he wasn't doing that well, and she didn't want to spend all that money on college and have him kind of slack. So she took him out, and he would just sit home on the computer, and he worked at a local grocery store as he went to the community college and started to get a few credits there instead of wasting a lot of money. So he ended up living with me again for a little bit. I had bought with the numerous, it was like $350. Like that was a lot of money for me as a 5th grader back then, receiving at Christmas. And so I had bought a little micro computer, I think they're called. It was literally like my neck up is how big that computer was. It was the tiniest computer ever, and it was the slowest thing I have ever seen in my life. It couldn't do anything, but it ran Wizard just fine. I swear to God, I destroyed that computer. I downloaded every game possible. That was the first computer where I primarily played Wizard, and I got into a lot of other games this way. The Sims I continued to play as each expansion pack came out, and if you are familiar with the Sims 3 franchise and you want a time of reference that I got this computer when the Sims 3 Late Night had came out. So I don't know exactly when that was, but you can just look it up for yourself if you would really like to know. So this miniature computer I had bought got me into a lot of other games like Team Fortress 2, mostly free games like Wizard101, and then Gary's Mod when I finally got $10 from my mom. Those were some of the games that I played. As I said, a majority of them were free, and then I finally leveled my character to like level 20 or level 10 or whatever it is on a free wizard account, and I was like, damn it, I really need some wizard stuff because, man, I am sick of having this level 20 or whatever ice that can't do anything else. It's level 10, I think, isn't it? Or 15? I have no clue. But when I hit that max level, man, I was pissed because I couldn't do anything else. So I started playing other video games for a long time after that. And the first time where I probably really got settled into Wizard was in 6th grade. Me and my cousin, who I'm very, very close to, when I first got my computer, I told him I played Wizard101, and he was like, oh my gosh, we should play together sometime. So we exchanged Wizard101 true friend code. When we used to both have iPods, we would FaceTime on the iPod, and and this was the first ever iPod with the camera on it, so it was like a big deal. We would FaceTime on those. He would like leave for a short amount of time without telling me, and like it was like, that was the first game we closely ever played together, and we've been playing video games since probably about 4th or 5th grade. We're both in 11th grade now. We're the same age. He's probably one of my best friends. Another thing I forgot to mention is from the summer of 3rd to 4th grade, so I talked about 3rd grade when I was very into the PlayStation, and then when I was in 4th grade, I had no noob, YU, kid, XD, don't call me out! And in the summer of 3rd to 4th grade, I had moved schools. Now I've stayed at the same school since I moved. That was like, my mom said that was gonna be the final move because I did move a lot as a kid. And it was pretty hard for me because I had no friends, like, at all. In fact, when I was in 4th grade, I had cried on the playground every day. And one time I was coming in from recess and the teacher was like, Maddie, why are you crying? And I told her why. It's because I had no friends to play with on the playground. And she was like, okay, so every day I am going to give you a buddy that you can play with on the playground. Like, that is like the most embarrassing thing for a kid. Like, why would you do that? The kids that I still see from then, they still remind me of that time, and it's just funny now to look back at it. Like, it doesn't hurt me anymore, but if you think about it, it is kind of sad. So since I had very little friends, that was the point I was trying to get to, I had a lot of time to play video games, and video games really gave me this friendship. For example, in Wizard101, all it takes is for you to run Darkmoor with an interesting person, someone that talks a lot, and you can easily become friends with them. That really helped me get through 4th grade. That sounds like help me get through, but I genuinely had no friends back then. Yeah, I suffered a lot because of it, and as I mentioned, I used to cry on the playground. But then in 5th grade it got a little bit better because I finally had some close friends. My closest friend, her name is Riley, and she used to play video games and be into anime. I was never into anime, but we both played video games together because she grew up the same kind of way where her brother gave her hand-me-downs of like the Game Boy and DS, and yeah, so she also played Wizard101. We ended up playing together a few times, but nothing comes close to when me and my cousin played together. Ben, if you were wondering, I'll give him a name, Ben. As I mentioned, I had gotten the computer in 5th grade, so now we're in 6th grade, and 6th grade, as I said, was the year that really started to heat up the video games for me. Not because I didn't have friends, but because a lot of video games that were interesting were coming out, and I finally had a little bit of money. I continued to play The Sims religiously, and I actually, in 6th grade, I had a Sims 3 YouTube channels. So I used to do Let's Plays of The Sims 3 on there. They're not up anymore. I have them all privated, and the account is like, I have no profile picture, no channel banner, because I don't want anyone to find it because it's very embarrassing. I sound like a little child. But I actually had started that Sims 4 channel in 4th grade, and then in 6th grade was the year that it actually started to like get a little bit good, because the Sims 3 Island Paradise had come out, and I was one of the first people that had come up when you search Island Paradise. And so I had about 100,000 views on part 1 of that Sims 3 Island Paradise Let's Play. So that was when things got good. I finally started making money from YouTube, and I had bought this mic that I have right here. It is a Blue Yeti, and this was my first ever purchase from a job, if you count YouTube as a job. And that was like when I realized I can finally get places with YouTube. That channel never went anywhere. Unfortunately, the game is kind of dead as of now. So, and honestly, I'm not all over the Sims franchise. The Sims 4 wasn't that great. I wouldn't spend any money on it, to be honest. That was the first time that I realized, man, Maddie, you can make some money from this. And things started to get a little bit better. And because I had money, I could play at whatever games I want. And I remember buying a Wizard101 membership, and I remember buying a bundle on Wizard101, and it was one of the it was the bundle that comes, damn it, what is it called? It's like a princess bundle or a royal bundle, I think it was. It comes with the giant castle, a griffin, and some gear, and at the time I literally redeemed it on my level 10 because I had not leveled from the time that I got the membership, because I was still using the free I was still at the free trial level because I didn't want to level. I used to not want to level on Wizard101 because it really was time consuming for me and I could not stand leveling, but now I love leveling. Like, it's kind of relaxing and therapeutic to me, to be honest. I took a break from Wizard101 from, like, oh my god, at that point, like 6th grade. I probably didn't start playing again till 8th grade, and then I played briefly in 8th grade, probably stopped. And then in the summer of going from 9th to 10th grade, that is when I started to play. And this character right here, Scarlet, the character I'm playing right now, I had gotten her from level 12 to level 99 as she is right now. So I also had another character, and if you see my Wizard101 Central ID, the name of that character, her name is Amber, and she's an ice character, so I don't play her because I don't really like ice that much, even though they're a great class and whatever. I just don't find anything about them necessarily interesting. Going back a little bit, in 9th grade, I had built my own computer. And this was, I'll put my specs on screen right now. This computer that I'm currently playing on, I haven't upgraded since 9th grade, and I got a lot of money for my birthday, and this was what really allowed me to play all the video games that I wanted. The issue was before my computer, I had a microcomputer that I had since 4th grade or 5th grade, and it really was not doing that well. It was on its last leg because I had it for, actually I went from my microcomputer to a full desktop computer, but even then that game couldn't even run Wizard101 smoothly. This computer that I'm currently playing on was the computer that really did it all for me. It's what gave me re-interest in video games, because at that point I had lost interest because I couldn't run any games on my old computer. This really helped me to be able to play games. I built the computer with my brother, and at this point he had graduated from community college and actually went into real college at a real school instead of just community college. I don't really want to say too much. I don't want to say the college name because I don't want to give away where I live because it's very close to where I live. Should I team up for this? Is this necessary to team up? Like, is it hard to do? I don't think it is it? I'm not sure. I'm gonna do it alone. So we built the computer together. I'll put the specs on screen if I... Did I already say I would? I don't remember. Yeah, it cost like $700 to build, and it was pretty good for what you could have gotten 3 years ago. I was really proud of it. Me and my brother assembled it with our bare hands, and I helped him every step of the way. He had told me what parts to get. He had ordered them because I gave him all my money. So we just built it together, and he showed me how to build it, and it was a really cool experience. Building this computer made me realize like that might be something I want to do someday, something in computers, because it was really interesting seeing everything that goes into it and then being able to play on the computer. Just the concept of computer, like these are parts that are smashed together. That's all they are. You're putting yourself into a whole new world, but you're smashing a few parts together. Isn't that interesting? Maybe I'm getting a little too deep here, but that's just how I feel about computer building. It was such like such a cool experience, and of course I still plan to upgrade this because my graphics card is outdated, my processor is outdated. It was good at the time of what I could have gotten. This new computer allowed me to play Grand Theft Auto, allowed me to play Skyrim, allowed me to later play PUBG. I don't play PUBG that much though because I get anxiety when I play it. Those are just some of the major games. I had gotten in and out of TF2 since 4th grade pretty much, and I started to do trading in TF2, in Team Fortress 2 is TF2 if you aren't familiar, and I started to do like cosmetic trading. I had an unusual at one point, so I was really into video games, I guess you could say. This sounds like a bunch of mumbo jumbo if you don't know anything about TF2, but just know that I had spent a lot of money, not some money, a lot of money in that game. So as I mentioned, I got in and out of Wizard, and I had when I had gotten in and out of Wizard, I had leveled my other ice character, Amber, as I mentioned, and she's currently level 76. I don't play her anymore. She doesn't even have like gear on right now because I don't care. I'm sorry. So I guess that kind of leads us where we are now. That is how I got into video games. In short, if you want the short story, and the short story is what I tell people that ask me, you know, that I don't know what games I play. I say because of my brother. It really was because of my brother giving me his Game Boy Advance when I was a little child that I am currently into video games, and then it was even more so because the PlayStation 2 was really what did it for me video game wise. That had me sealed to my computer, or my screen, my television, my chunky television screen in my room. That is what had me sealed to that thing, was the PlayStation. So in short, it was my brother that got me into it, and what kept me was my cousin Ben. We still play to this day. He might even be on right now. No, he is not. He has a level 102 Storm, or 105, 106, 107, and he also has a level 100 something Ice. We still play today. Like every game I talked about playing on this computer, or on any computer. Since 5th grade, I have been playing. As I mentioned, we used to hold our iPods and FaceTime instead of using Skype. It's so stupid when I look back at it. We have been playing together forever, and he might appear in one of my future videos, and I might introduce you guys to him. He's a really cool person. He's extremely smart. That's about it. He's extremely informed on this game, more so than I am. He's what kept me playing this game, and I am glad that I continue to play it. I think I'm going to end this video out that way. And of course, as of now, I have a level 99 Fire. She is my highest level. As I mentioned, I used to not want to level, so that's why I don't have like a 125 by now. I could probably, if I had leveled when I was a child, but I did not want to. Yeah, anyway, that's all I'm gonna say for this video. I hope this gave you guys a little bit of insight on me, and you know, you got to know me a little bit. So anyway, I'm gonna end this video here. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and peace out.